Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Final Stallions!
Ooh, the boys are buzzing on the Friday. And we better be for this freaking episode that was a party of a weekend back in October. Ladies and gentlemen, we are diving into 6.0. Oh, shit, shake that ass. Now move it. All right, I'm done.
Woo!
But let me tell you something. 6.0, gents. I can't believe we've snuck in so many in so little time, and it's been fantastic. But this one was a little bit more unique, per se. We'll call it 6.0, too many cooks.
Dude, the way we got there and the way some of these vinyls were picked or selected were hilarious. We got to get to that later in this episode.
We'll dive into the whole thing. But yes, let's set the precedent again. We are at 6.0 of Vinyl Roulette. If you don't know the rules of Vinyl Roulette, go back to episode 1.0 of Vinyl Roulette and figure them out yourself.
And even if you do know the rules, you always might get thrown a curveball or two.
Literally. But no, this was like, we got cucked a couple times before. We were really trying to sneak this in at the end of summer and trying to make sure it at least happened by the end of the year because it had been a full calendar year since 5.0. So we finally locked down a date at Master Klep's studio in Holland, Ohio. And yeah, I don't know, Klep, you want to set the scene for us?
All right. So here's what made this super unique. So normally a roulette will occur on one singular day. And what we did this time is we split it into 2 days. So we normally listen to 6 albums for a roulette. We did 7, and we did 2 on the Friday and 5 on the Saturday. So it was very interesting because, you get those 2 Friday, you get a little time to chew on them Saturday, and then, you get 5 more.
And it wasn't planned about how many we were going to do, honestly. It was just like how many we get in is what we get in. And we knew we had kind of Friday night and then, we could have had, we didn't have, should I say, all day Saturday because those 2 gentlemen over there, Michael and Klep, had a fantasy basketball draft that is a priority. And you know what?
Indeed.
It's been planned before the roulette. So we knew that going in. And again, that might have fueled the Friday night extravaganza as well to get us started. But so we went up Friday night. Again, we had 2 albums that night. Gents, I don't know. You just want to dive in, just walk through chronologically how this thing went down and break down how we got to everything.
So I believe the first 2 on Friday night, there were no odds in play, correct? We just let them rip.
I think it was just let it rip, randomize that.
And what we got first was a little EP action. Got a little Incubus EP called Trust Fall, and there's 2 sides to it. There's side A and side B. We got Trust Fall side A, which I believe was released in 2015.
And it was Incubus's second time showing up in the roulette world.
True.
Indeed.
Yeah, 2.0. Or no, it was 1.5.
1.5, yeah.
Yeah, the only half we've ever done. 1.5. Yep. And so again, and I think we just called it a little appetizy, a little appetizy.
Well, it was more like a damn entree the way those boys played. My God, yeah, it kicked my ass as usual, but Incubus, right? Now I didn't know it was 2015, so that added most of Incubus I know is older stuff. So this is a nice spin on it, familiar band, but for myself, not as familiar songs. But it was just a lot of fun. It was very energetic, and it was a great way to start off a roulette with 6 more vinyls coming later.
Yeah, I remember Absolution Calling, that being the song that I was like, all right, boys, we're in.
Yeah, no. What is the first song on the B side of that?
Absolution Calling.
Yeah. So I concur. Yeah, that was the
That's
one
a
that really
memorable
just-
one.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
blasted. Complete blast.
That's exactly like the A side was good, and then Absolution Calling. Flight B741 has landed.
Bum, bum.
But-
And so I think after that, we honestly went and maybe took a little break and jammed a little bit, or it was before, because I don't think Tanner was sorry, let's back it up. Tanner, shout out Vinyl Stallions' very own Tanner Wirtz, was coming along for a Friday night party at Klep's place. And I think
Indeed, he was.
So did we listen and then take a break?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not there for Incubus.
Okay. So yeah, then we took a break, did a little bit of jamming in the basement, and then we headed right back up for what would be the final album of Friday night. And this one's an LP.
Dude, this one was crazy.
Offspring.
Classic. Just
Offspring.
a good old
Smash.
boys Friday night. Let's go.
Gotta keep them separated.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, that was so much fun. It was just a nice throwback to what we've all heard our whole lives. You know, we're all in our late 20s, early 30s here, and this was just perfect. I mean, Offspring, come on. We've all seen the album cover. It has a lot of hits on it. It also we just listened to Incubus to this. So it was
Yeah,
like, okay,
true.
we're just getting our faces rocked off here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I can't say I've ever listened to a full Offspring album before that. Like you
I
said,
would
Michael,
agree.
like, a bunch of
Agree.
those songs and whatever. I can't even think of that other album that's very popular by them. And
Self-esteem.
yeah.
Got a little bit of that.
Yep.
But no,
Yeah,
that
some
was
funny
great.
songs too. They're kind of like funny sometimes. They let the rock and go crazy, punk style of rock, and then I don't know some of their lyrics.
Oh yeah. What happened to you? That's one that would fall under that.
Yeah, I
category.
noticed that about them, but it kept it light, it kept it rocking, and yeah,
No,
I'm
his
finally
voice can be-
glad we got it. I've always
Yeah,
been
his-
seeing that in the damn, vinyl, 1,000 vinyls here, and glad we got it.
Yeah, it just packs a punch. It's one of my favorite rock or punk rock albums just of all time.
Yeah, no, it's his voice, the lead singer's voice, is just like very like quirky is kind of the word. So it
It
makes it,
is.
like you said, Michael, like kind of like funny and kind of just like
I
Yeah.
feel like he
know.
knows it too.
What in the world happened to you?
I feel like he's like stomping when he says it. It's what in the world?
What was that one that was in your head for a minute afterwards?
Killboy.
Killboy Power
There it
Head.
is.
Still is.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
complete fuego.
Offspring and Incubus were just a crazy like way to tee off the latest and greatest vinyl roulette.
It was. Yeah, nope. So then we got some good sleep. I don't know what we watched that night. I can't tell you, but I think we watched.
Boogly Boogly, or is that Saturday?
No, that's that comes in later.
The source
Michael.
of life.
Maybe that, honestly. But and no, I think we also shuffled some good songs as well on the Stampede Shuffle, which you
definitely.
can find on Spotify right now. And
Oh, yeah.
so yeah, we flipped the page over. We're Saturday morning. I know that the Gents are heading out early for that fantasy basketball draft. Our very own Cleveland Guardians are in Game 7 versus Game 5 against the Detroit Tigers.
Tigers.
And it was my first time ever. So I stayed at Klep's place, and Tanner was there too, who's a Tigers fan. And it was the first time in my life that I've ever experienced watching a sporting event with someone else who's another fan and like no other elements in the room. It was, and the fact that the stakes were so high for my first time doing that was like insane. Like I felt so bad just being like, fuck Scuba. And I went nuts for the fucking grand slam. And
Yeah, wasn't that like the most runs he's given up in a game all year
Yeah,
or something?
dude, just-
Comes at game
Not
5
the time
of the
to do
ALDS.
it.
Lane
Not the time
Thomas
to do
just
it.
bang, bang, bang. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, man, we were the underdogs that year, and then the Tigers just came out of nowhere, and it was ours by right, so we took it, and we'll forget whatever happened after that. But all right, so then the boys come back, but they're carrying some extra luggage with them.
Oh,
So who'd you bring back?
one Bryce Ibarra.
Bryce. guys.
This guy's a freak. But no.
Yeah, he was at the fantasy basketball draft, and we thought, what would Bryce like more than some vinyls?
There was chance for heavy metal in there. He knew, and some rap.
Yeah, that's true. He made his odds.
Yeah, no, he was there, ready to get after it. I love the energy, and yeah, I think we like literally dove in right when you guys walked in the door because it was already like 4 or 5 p.m. and we were like, all right, we at least have to hit 6 here. So
Before you
let's get
show
this
this
thing on
next
the road.
vinyl, how did we pick it? 'Cause I loved what we're about to show you guys. This was amazing.
I think it was
This
random.
so nice. Was it random?
The first one I think of that day was
We
completely.
didn't do the
random.
card game or anything.
Well, we did our odds boost. So start Saturday. To recall, we all put in 50 odds boost,
Yep.
and then we played
That's right.
the card game to see if our odds were going to stay in or not. And we all hit on the card game.
That's right. This was not picked from anyone's odds.
Okay.
This was picked from.
It was random. I know it was random. It was like the whole
It
list.
was, but it
random.
wasn't, because this one was the one where we did the Olympic runners.
I don't know, dude.
Not the horse.
Not the horse.
Well,
This
that's
this
later.
one we did the Olympic runners for. So Bruce was one of those Olympic runners.
Okay, all right. It's coming back to me now. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Break it out. Quit teasing our fans.
I
This
can't
is so good.
I can't remember who the other runners were, but essentially how we selected this album was we picked an Olympic race from, I think it was the early 2000s.
Yep, it was.
And an album, each runner represented an album. And the runner that won was representing Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love.
Oh, so good. So refreshing. It was just good for the soul. Everyone listening, please.
Oh, yeah.
I know people love Bruce and probably know his whole discography and everything. I wasn't as familiar with this album. Oh my God, did this guy have so much more elements than I ever imagined. What a peaceful, just hit right, hit the spot.
Yeah, and now this is a Bruce Springsteen album, not a Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Important to note. A little history to this album. On the inside of the sleeve, there's a stamp that says Rock Cafe, and it gives an address in Battle Creek, Michigan. So
Look at this hunk.
the Battle Creek Freaks come out to play with a little Bruce.
Let's go. 1987, Bruce. And to back up Michael's point, I mean, if you don't listen to this podcast, let me remind you that Bruce is my guy. Bruce Springsteen, the E Street Band, is like top tier, best artist I know. And this is also an album I really just didn't know that well. I mean, I knew some hitters with like Two Faces, Brilliant Disguise, Tunnel of Love, Spare Parts was another one. But I mean, I knew it was more relaxed and chill, but man, yeah, just like complete vibes. Like it was just a great way to start out. Like
I kept thinking,
sun
like, it's the
going
best
down.
music to have when you're driving down like the highway or an old country road, the windows down. I just kept thinking that throughout the album, like this would just hit so hard if you're in that situation. I was blown away because I know more of the popular Bruce songs, but diving deep into an album, his own, and like Tunnel of Love and everything was just really unique and introspective, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was a big fan.
Hell yeah. And Michael and I had a pleasure of seeing Mr. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band this year.
Columbus,
last
April.
In April, Klep and I saw him last year with my dad and Boob God. And it was just freaking awesome. I was just smiling ear to ear because for 5.0, I honestly thought, I was like, we just keep getting just like the top name rippers that I like love. Like we got Goose and Alabama Shakes on the last one. Like, those are like some of my top bands, and just the fact that we're kicking off Saturday with Bruce was like great. So yeah, great vibes, fun way to choose it. Klep put together all the rules for this one since he had the home field advantage. So
Sure did.
Yeah, we were watching that race, 400 meters. I was out of breath watching them. I also feel like I'm
we get
blending
to the
in
horse
with my,
races later.
Yeah, I'm blending them with my wall back here, with my hat, my pigment face and the wall.
Your
right now,
hoodie
I'm
too, a
literally-
little bit.
My
It's a
hoodie,
little-
yeah.
little
For
clay colored.
reference, the Spruce Studios is getting a little renovation, so you know.
Here.
All right,
Gotta
so we
drink
watched
from
a
the
bunch of
trough.
people run, and for Bruce, we got the tunnel of love. Amazing. What was after
Alright.
that, and how did we do it?
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, I know this is going. Sorry, guys.
now we enter the Michael odds booster.
Woo!
My God.
This was so funny. So I basically, can you remind me about I had 4 options. And I picked 3 out of. Sorry.
So
it was hilarious.
this was Spruce's idea. So we knew everyone was going to have a hit from their odds boosts, and Spruce's idea was instead of just 1 hit, 3 are going to hit, and then of those 3, you're going to draw a card, and one of those cards will correspond with an album. And so of Michael's 3, we had Crash by Dave Matthews Band, and we had 2 different Beach Boys albums. And what do you think advanced?
Just guess.
Beach Boys surrounding Dave.
Crashing
2 elbows. Right there. Bang, bang. 2 elbows. Knocking them both out. It's Dave.
dude.
Bad day to be a beach boy because
Yeah.
you're going surfing right back to the shelf.
Oh.
It was beach or Dave. It was 1-3 odds, everything. And Dave just took the cake. He said, "Beach Boy, screw you. Beach Boy, screw you. I'm coming in." And we got Dave, baby. We got Dave.
Not only did we get Dave, but at 2.0, Michael was not present. Klep and I are at my house late night. We're like, let's just run a fucking roulette. And what do you know? If you recall, we got Crash at that time. And there's only one artist out of all of the roulettes that does not leave once it is played. And that is Dave Matthews Band.
Dave.
And so, again, any album you hear right now that we're talking about is going to never be heard again in a roulette. It's out except for Dave. And he took advantage of that situation and bodied us.
Dude.
The first 2-time album appearance.
True.
Dave Matthews Band, Crash.
Dave will never escape. But
Yeah, no.
the ones that rocked my world was Drive In, Drive Out. The ending of that, especially in the middle and the end, the way Carter does. I was telling Adam earlier, he basically tells the whole band that supper is ready. The way he's playing the drums, it's just it's crazy. The ending of it is so fun. It's a unique guitar style, but it's my second favorite album from Dave, and they have 10 plus. Crash is just a classic, and yeah, I mean, if you know this podcast, you follow Vinyl Stallions, you know this is the way to go. But I was so happy to get that. I got one of the big 3.
Yeah. No, it's crazy to hear it in that scenario. For actually reference, for the first time we listened to this album, my vinyl player wasn't working. So we actually had to just listen to it on our phone and put it in. So maybe that was its way of coming back being you got to spin me.
Right. Now it's official vinyl.
And so, yeah, we did it. We took the time to flip it in between. And again, for how we have Klep's vinyl player set up it's hooked up to 4 different JBL speakers all
dude,
over.
I can hear Stefan's bass line so much. I listen in the car and it's whatever. And then Adam has 4 JBLs plus 4 to 6 connected with the record player. And you can just you can hear the way the bass line moves frets. I can't make this up. It's very unique and awesome experience to do this. And for one of my favorite bands. So overall, yeah, I think we're all pretty happy with that. Beach Boys would have been good. And maybe for 7.0, maybe for 8.0, we'll
maybe
get
we just get 4 Beach Boy albums.
right?
Just
You all have to
Avalanche,
listen to that.
Beach
But no
Avalanche.
Santana.
Right. But Dave was a nice fun to the mix. It was expected, and I'm sure we're all glad we got it. But your boy Michael never misses there.
Yeah, it was good. Proudest Monkey was insane. I remember just laying back
Yeah.
and I am just in a field right now, just surrounded by
And let's not forget Bryce, who decided he's kind of like an outsider with this coming in, and so much to say by Dave. Like he was just like so much to say. There's so
He said that for the
much to
rest of the
say.
night, the whole night.
He got Daved. So that was funny having him just like being fully immersed into like what we love. It was kind of interesting. He's more of
the
an
whole time he's just like,
AC/DC kind of guy. Yeah, just you're an hour and a half of this.
You're halfway there. So yeah, we got drilled by Dave, double discer. We're 4 albums deep between the 2 days at this point, and then
First double discer too. Everything else was a single, with the Incubus one even being a shortened single.
It was a shorter one. So on to the next. Ooh,
where do we?
So we go into the Klep odds territory. I can't remember. So what? I'm trying to recall what the 3 were that it got narrowed down to. It got narrowed down to Jazz Funk by Incognito. There's a Trampled by Turtles album. I can't remember what the other one was. It might have been Toad the Wet Sprocket. But anyways, Incognito won. We got a little jazz funk, Incognito's first album, arguably their best album. Yeah, I was just seeing the music during this one. Like I would hear a note and it would pop into my head. I was just fully immersed.
I was mind blown, like actually mind blown for looking at that album cover there. You know, you always like to look at the cover and the back and just read some information. And there is no names of who is playing on this album anywhere on there, if I recall correctly.
You are correct. Yeah.
I remember just looking at it, and then I turn it over, and I just see, I read Incognito again, and I'm like, boom. Blasted Incognito. Like that is what people use. They're John Doe. Like that's what they use when they don't want people to know. And like,
damn.
I was just like, fuck. Like, all right, it's written by Incognito.
They stayed true to it. No, I mean
it made sense. Like you can't find credits for this album anywhere. Like
that's crazy. And yeah, it's. I mean, go. If you people don't know about this, go listen to Incognito and just read about Bluey, and it's crazy. Like, just
be careful though. Like, if you're driving and listening to them a little too loud, you might get lost. Like, I'm not kidding. They're really crazy. Like, you be at a red light and you don't even know it turns green. You're just like, what's going on right now? Like, I'm just fair warning. They're a crazy good jazz band. It's really incredible what I heard that day.
Yeah, shout out to Incognito.
Some of the best.
Yeah, they needed to make an appearance.
Speaking of some of the best.
And it's their first album, right?
Yeah.
What year do we know?
I think it's 1981.
You're correct. I just looked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was weird. They released that and then didn't release another album for like 9 or 10 years.
Yeah, it says 11. 1992 was Tribe Vibes.
Yep. I knew that, but...
Nice.
81. We got their 81 album. That's cool.
Shout out debut Incognito making a roll.
This next one's so much fun.
This was mine. This was my odds.
This is so much fun.
Then we roll into Spruce odds territory.
And I don't remember the other ones either, but all I know is I've been putting this album in my odds since 1.0, and I have been trying to get everyone to listen to this, and not even just the whole album, just the A side of this album. Klep,
just a main course. Just a main course.
Yeah. Just get to the main course.
Boom!
Main course by the Bee Gees. And
can you feel the wind of change?
Get on up. Yeah, literally one of my favorite albums. One of my favorite sides of music. Again, that A side. You just think it's gonna end, and it just keeps. Fanny be tender with my
talk about not boring. Not that any of these are boring, but oh my god, they just know how to keep it fun, man.
And I know I mentioned this during like when we were listening to it, but the Bee Gees is just like a crazy story. There's a really good documentary of them on like HBO Max, and like it talks about how like they were a huge, like the three brothers were Grammy Award winners for like folk music back in like the 60s and like 70s and stuff. And then like I don't know, like they went to Miami and then it just came out just like with the filthiest shit and like recorded shit in Miami. And like this is one, obviously they have like the Saturday Night Fever like soundtrack that has a bunch of their hits on it. But I mean, start off Nights on Broadway. I remember Klep showing you that song like a couple years ago, and you described it perfectly. You're like, that bass is directing traffic.
I can see that. Just as a collective band, though, just every aspect of it all, they all know what they're doing. They know,
and the harmonies, like
yeah, it's just hits so good to the soul.
No, Love it them. Is. I'm beyond pumped. We got that one. I was like literally out of breath by the.
I mean, it's party
of that album.
It was a party. It changed everything.
Dancing.
I mean, Incubus was fun and good to listen to, but like you put this main chorus Bee Gees on, everyone
back to back to Incognito, like that is just like horny.
True. Good point. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're just getting our ass kicked at this point.
Yeah. So what do we do here then?
Next comes arguably the funniest moment of 2024.
Is this the last album?
Yes. So we had one more after main course. We decided through, I believe it was the 2012 Kentucky Derby. There were 20 horses that participated in this race, whatever it may be. And so each of those 20 horses corresponded with an album.
And we don't know the winner, obviously. Just throwing
right.
it out there.
Wait,
yeah. So
hang on. T.O. Are we missing an album? Because
we're not.
That only
Spruce run through them. That's six.
So it's a seventh
EP.
one.
I mean, I guess you have them in front of you. Yeah, 2 on Friday, and then Bruce.
Yep.
Dave, Incognito, main course, and then all right, touche. It
goes by fast when you're having fun. Seriously,
it went by fast right now.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so we just watched Ohio State do the stupidest play in the world, where their quarterback slid down against Oregon, and just with time running out, we were like, "What the fuck?" And then we're like, "All right, fuck it, just let's go." And we immediately change it to the 2012 Kentucky Derby. I think we all were supposed to choose like 5 horses and like just put 5 names into the bucket. And
and we your number.
Bryce was in mobile, so we just started that and like Bootleg Zeppelin, I think, and a couple other ones that were in the mix.
It was a hodgepodge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What made it interesting is our friend Bryce. There was one album that we had in there, "Good Kid, Mad City" by Kendrick Lamar. Great album, and that horse was winning the race pretty much the whole time. And I kid you not, maybe the last 2 seconds of the video, all of a sudden this other horse just comes out of nowhere and passes it, to the point where I'm just like, wait, did that just happen? I had to like go in there and Google the results of the race to verify which horse won. Sure shit, the Kendrick horse didn't win, but what did win was the horse that had fish.
Completely 180-degree difference.
You're coming through my ears so loud, just a fish.
And our friend Bryce is more of like into rap.
Scoop back.
He's not really into jam music, so this was like the funniest thing. He was like getting all excited. Yeah, my album won. Nope, you got fished last second, buddy.
No, like I mean, I'm gonna take that up a notch, Michael. Me and Bryce were literally high fiving, going, "If Pyros and Crips all got along," and like we were going nuts. And then again, I turn around and we're like, "Whoa!" And fucking Riff comes in. And then, but not only does he come in, and then the video just ends, and like we're like, what?
No explanation.
Yeah, we're like,
you
what
don't
horse?
hear any post game commentary, nothing. It's just,
we don't even know what horse it was. Like we were just like, who was that? And then that's when you had to go look it up. But yes,
we're Bob, and on the surface,
oh my god,
dude,
such a difference.
It was crazy. I mean, it like the fact that Fish rolled up, like this is my year of Fish, and the fact that Riff showed up was literally amazing. Maze fucked us up on that A side.
Yeah.
I remember
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no coming back from that. And then after the A side, Klep and Michael got in the kitchen, started cooking it up, and I was over with Bryce just like dancing, and like he was laughing his ass off at
Yeah.
every lyric that I would say. I'd be like, I'd like to cut your head off so I can win. What do you say? And like he would just be like, and
That album had that song, and that was one of my first Fish songs I heard. So when I heard that
Really?
play
That's
in the
like
vinyl,
one of
I was
the
like, oh, I know this. I'm not even well versed in Fish, well, at least as much as these two guys. But I would like to think that's one of my better or favorite albums from Fish, in my opinion. While we're here, guys, let's just have a little mini debate here or exercise. Is this Fish album a top 3 for you in Fish or not?
Yes.
probably.
Interesting.
It's
I'm
a
glad I was
toss up
part of it.
between like 1 and 2 for
Because
me.
they have like what 10 plus albums.
I think like
more,
14.
yeah.
My point being, so
15?
that's awesome that we all got to listen to that together. Because in my opinion, that was a really good album. It's one of my favorites, arguably my favorite.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
good to hear that from you two.
No, it was crazy. I'm just gonna fill my odds with Fish again next time. So
Yeah, I mean,
get
it
rid of
was
Michael.
crazy. The band's nuts, dude. I mean,
I
listeners
feel
here-
like you've never heard the story of the ghost.
I know where this is going. I know where this is
Fear
going.
you've never told me.
Oh, man.
But yes, wrapping it up with Fish. We cooked some steaks, like a couple meat hounds, ate
Oh,
some
yeah.
veggies, watched Mr. Boogedy, the capture of the
Muscles.
bride. It was the weirdest, literally like the weirdest movie I've ever watched in my life. I couldn't believe the shit I was seeing.
I have nothing more to say. I disagree with everything you just said. There's nothing more. I can say. I don't know what else to say. I didn't believe what I was watching. It was perfect. Right after that Fish album, going into that, I'm just like, what is this life? It was
And
awesome.
we didn't realize it was the sequel of the first one. So we're already like people coming out of bushes and like, we're like, who are you? No, it was actually insane. But yeah, shout out. Glad we were able to get 6.0 in this year.
When
with all
will
of our-
7.0 occur?
Let me call my receptionist. They'll reach out.
Within hopefully 3 months or so.
Yeah.
But my main takeaways are: is Incubus kicked ass. I was very surprised to hear them. The way Dave beat out the Beach Boys was hilarious. And the way Fish just outraced Kendrick Lamar was even more hilarious.
I had tears.
We want to see
rolling
Fish
down
in
my
the Super Bowl,
face.
okay? Let's get Fish in the Super Bowl. Like that.
Dude,
that'd be something
crazy.
But
They would, dude. Their fans would have to boycott them then.
I know, right?
Corporate sweat.
True. They're already getting too mainstream for them, it seems.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. If you play the Sphere 4 nights, you're a swine, but 3 nights is okay.
I swear, it's a cult. It's a cult.
Let me in.
And then Bruce was just so like relaxing and like necessary. Is if you're like I like Bruce, but I don't not really dive in. So the whole album from start to finish of Tunnel of Love was just really introspective, like I mentioned earlier. So I mean, hey, for everyone listening, if you're like really into a band but like decide not to listen to maybe their softer stuff, hey, try it, because it's a lot better than what you would ever think. It's really nice getting deep into it.
Oh yeah, big time. Well, shout out 6.0, gents. Group chat's name's been changed to 7.0. The planning will begin, and we'll see where it takes us. But just know all the albums you heard, except for Dave, are out.
Yes, no longer
Maybe we'll
in
get Crash
play
again
for 7.0. Yeah, we'll get crashed 2 more times.
All right. I'm just gonna throw both of you on the spot. Top 3 albums from 6.0. Doesn't have to be just like
In order, or just in top 3 in general?
Yeah, it
Top
doesn't
3.
have to be in order. It doesn't even have to be like your favorite 3 songs that happen to be on these albums. Just when you were in that moment,
the experience.
top 3.
JJ, you go first.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go main chorus, incognito, riff.
No. Songs.
Oh, I heard what you heard too.
We're going to have to get a little more specific.
Yeah, all right. Winds of Change in the Bee Gees. Maze, Fish has to be up there. And then whatever the first song is, like Prometheus Girl or whatever. Just whatever the first song is on the Incognito.
Yeah.
Can I get the
Parisian Girl. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Bang, done. My 3.
All right, I not sorry to make it boring, but riff for Fish as well just knocked my socks off. Drive in, drive out, Dave, because the ending and middle of that song, the way Carter does the percussion is simply nuts. He's an octopus. And then I would say, not to get deep, but All That Heaven Will Allow by Bruce. I'm telling you, this album really, I don't know, it's just such a vibe. And if it's like a nice, cool fall night, it's just
the tunnel of love.
it's just a tunnel of love, baby. But I mean, it's so hard. And Adam did put me on spot. Maybe I'd change my answer in a half hour, but
It's all right. It's all right. Klep,
You and
finish
the
us out.
Stallions. All right, I'm gonna go Killboy Powerhead by the
Yeah.
Offspring,
yeah,
Maze by Fish, and Drive In, Drive Out by Dave.
we got
Let's
2 out of 3
go.
there, so you can't make that up.
Big
But,
overlap. I love it. I love it.
mhm.
Yep. Nope. Shout out again. I'm excited to keep on doing this. It's fucking fun to find out cool music, and you just take the dive into an artist, your song or something, and yeah, no, it's very fun. It's stamped in history.
It is.
Bang bang, choo choo train. All right. Well, shout out. My name's Spruce,
I'm Klep.
And I'm Michael.
and this has been another episode of. All right, cut it off.